are back to discuss the latest chaotic week on Little Brother. It's another Leanna HOH, so you know there's gonna be chaos, and here we are again, Q.
It's gonna be messy and chaotic.
Yes.
And it did not disappoint.
It did not at all. We're gonna pick right up with the picking of the veto, and Mike's hoping to get picked. His name does not come out, but there's a moment when Fanguy's chosen and Mike tries to pitch his case to Fanguy, but it doesn't go too well.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. I mean, if I'm Mike, I'm livid. I'm upset. I think I understand why Fanguy didn't pick Mike, especially considering how he came back into the game. He came back with a really bad attitude, very vengeful. And so who's to say that Mike wouldn't win the power of veto and then not take Fanguy down?
Out of like pettiness.
Yes, and
True.
Mike is a petty man. Team Petty, former member.
Yes, you're not wrong about that.
And I think that if you just weighed out all of the options for Fanguy, anyone except Mike had more pros than cons. So,
Did you like his pick of Alex?
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just that?
Why? What do you think?
No, I mean, I guess it kind of worked, even though, they had a later discussion where Alex is like, it's okay if you two stay up in the block because I'll get Nav out.
That is true.
Do you agree with Mike's assessment that Fanguy is washed up?
That was hilarious. I don't really know what he meant by washed up. What does that even mean?
I mean, I guess he's saying Fanguy just doesn't have the strategic nature anymore. I guess he thinks Fanguy he got beat by Dot in that last game. That's what he said, and now Fanguy just doesn't have it anymore.
Imagine being called a fucking has-been. That's hilarious. Oh my god. This is the commentary we need from Mike. When Mike is in between a rock and a hard place, them fucking confessionals, 10 out of 10.
I agree.
I love you, Fanguy. Seriously, I love Fanguy. But yeah, maybe he's a little washed up. He ran through.
Do you have any thoughts on like the Leanna-Alex connection that seems to be developing? That Leanna wants to keep Alex off the block because I guess in Leanna's mind, a lot of people are hiding behind Mike. She wants this idea to hide behind Alex, I guess.
And yet and still Alex has evaded the block.
Yeah, that's the deal Leanna made with Alex this week. She wouldn't put him on the block.
I don't really understand the logic of a shield, to be honest, because maybe I've just always been a shield. I've always been a messy player. But the notion of I'm going to keep this player in the game because they'll always see the block before me, but then that player doesn't get on the block, like the logic just isn't sound to me. And I also don't understand how Mike doesn't offer those same benefits to her, especially considering that she and Mike seem to be okay. Like, they seem to have made amends until she nominated him again. So I don't really understand, like, why it's okay for Alex but not okay for Mike. I don't understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, that's a question I'll have to ask Leanna if I remember one of these days, because...
Child, Leanna gon' fucking, by the end of this season, the way she be getting ate up in the chat, in the comments, in the confessionals, and in the game, Leanna gonna be like Elizabeth. She gonna be like, I never played that fucking series. I don't know who a Nick is.
I don't know about that.
And it's also very weird that, Leanna essentially saved Alex from the block, but now he's unwilling to use the veto at all? Like...
I mean, it's true. I mean, Alex is playing his own game. I think this is the first time Alex actually has a chance to play his own game in this game. So, I mean, he might as well make the best of it, right?
That's true. But, I mean, it's just funny that I feel like she thinks she maybe has Alex under her thumb, and Alex is like, oh, great, thanks for keeping me off the block. Now I'm going to totally not do what you want me to do. And I don't think that that's going to go well. Or that would go well with Leanna. So.
Yeah, it's true. I guess Leanna's reasoning for... I mean, I get Leanna's reasoning for Alex. I still don't know your question about why she went so hard on Mike in this last round. But I think at this point in the game, I can understand how Alex has went up twice, 2 times out of 3 rounds. So
and Mike has gone 3 out of 4. So.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, still, Alex was on the block 2 out of 3 rounds. I can see why Leanna thinks everybody wants him out because he keeps being on the block, even though nobody voted him out. So.
I think I would rather have Mike as an ally in this situation. Because, yes, when Mike doesn't win, he will see the block. But when Mike does win, if you're his ally, you won't see the block. So, I think Mike is the better ally to have in this situation.
I mean, if you're looking for a shield, Mike is the better shield, I think.
Or you can just play your own game like Didi and not have to rely on shields.
I mean, that's true. Although I would say Liana is playing her own game, too.
That's true. Liana don't play scared. Let the people, let the record show. Liana don't play scared.
True. Fat Guy is kind of figuring out the matriarchy. It's kind of...
Is he? It's like it's a carrot right in front of his face. Again, with the fucking insurance. Oh, you almost had it. Gotta be quicker than that. Oh, it was right in front of his face. And then he goes, we need to partner up with Aspen and Meg. And it's like, no, you need to get one of them hoes out.
But I mean, I'm going to defend Fan Guy, because I mean, Fan Guy's working with both of them, I would say. I think Fan Guy sees it from the perspective of, if there is a women's alliance, I want to be in with some of the women in that alliance.
Fair enough. That's true.
So I think there's some logic to that. Now, a pretty big part of the episode was Didi telling Lana, Meg, Aspen, if I win the veto, I ain't using it. I don't like this plan. You can't tell me what to do. Was basically the gist of it.
Yeah. I mean, people going against the matriarchy has been consistent with the history of the matriarchy.
Yes.
The only difference between this and previous actions is that Dee was just transparent about it.
True. Do you like her being transparent about it?
I wrote Dee not using the veto is good for her. I mean, like, yes, good for her. That's good for you. Advance your own game. If you feel that having Mike in the game is best for you, then don't play the veto. Like, don't be bullied by this fake alliance that has only voted together one time when it was unanimous anyways. Like, I don't feel like falling back on this alliance now on the fourth vote is the move. So at least she was honest about it.
I mean, this veto, he had to pick a teammate for charades. It kind of fell on a bad round for Didi. It didn't really give her the biggest shot at winning because Liana was her teammate. Although Liana didn't really throw a hardcore.
That was strange because, yes, so I guess the logic there for Liana was that, okay, well, I know Didi's gonna keep my nominations the same, so I'm gonna work with her. But then it actually seemed, I thought Liana's, actions for charades were reasonable. Yeah. I would have guessed. Didi fucking guessed bashful, but didn't guess embarrassed? Like, what? So I thought that, I didn't think that Liana was actually actively trying to throw the challenge.
No. I think Liana was trying to win it herself, honestly.
I see, yeah. So.
Any other thoughts on the charades challenge?
Well, one thing that I did want to say is, here goes Meg. Didi not being willing to play her power of veto, I'm going to take note of that because she's just not a team player. None of you hoes are team players. None of you.
Monet, maybe?
Please. None of you Monet, who wanted to put up Fan Guy and Aspen, none of you hoes are team players.
But
enough. She didn't because she's so far up Leanna's ass, but none of you hoes are team players. So, I don't want to fucking hear it. Also, going back to the the charades challenge, I literally wrote R.I.P. Nisha. She ain't gonna never live that down.
It was a good throwback though. I had to put Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Keep that in mind, future players. When you play charades and or Pictionary, there will be a Buffy reference.
It is very possible. So up to this point, how do you think Liana's HOH is going?
I think it's messy, just like her previous one.
Why do you think that is about Liana? I think it's her communication.
Yeah, it's her. I think we kind of touched on it last week when you said that because Liana wants people to know so badly that she doesn't play scared and that it's her churse, that she kind of is a little reckless in what she chooses to say and what she chooses to share or not share, especially. And I think that usually results in a very messy HOH for her.
And it looks like we're getting that yet again.
Yep.
So Day's plan, now that the first plan went to shit, is, well, I can still use my power to take down Nav, and 2 people come off the block, and me, Nav, Didi, and I could find 2 more people, and Mike could still stay. Before we get to the actual veto ceremony, though, but what do you think of Day's new plan?
First thing I thought was, baby D, you going up. You going up, go on, sit there and look cute. I don't think she'll go home, but I already knew that plan was not going to go well for her because she, very clearly stated that she was going to leave Leanna's nominations as they were. And so I think that it's a twofold benefit for Leanna, and that she gets to ensure that Mike will go home, because most people, looking at this game in a straightforward sense, most people are going to vote for Mike over D. And then also she kind of gets to punish D and make her sit in the hot seat for a bit. So, but yeah, when Day said that, I immediately knew what the result was going to be. So,
any thoughts before we get to the main point? I mean, Alex and Didi finally had a real conversation trying to talk
Child! Didi, now why are you lying in that man's face? Talking about some, so Didi, am I your target? No. Please. He has been your target since season 2 of Online Survival. Now come on, Didi.
Yeah.
Come on. Why are you lying now, sis? You've been doing good. You've been playing you a mostly honest game. And now here you go, talking about some Alex ain't your target. You're just his target. Okay. I don't know about that.
Well, then we get to the veto ceremony. Meg takes down Fan Guy. Do you agree with that move?
I mean, yeah, it's consistent with what we knew Meg was going to do. And if people aren't suspecting that her and Fan Guy aren't a duo, then they're dumb. But, okay.
And then Days does indeed take down Nav, and then Lana nominates Mike and Didi. Why do you really think it's Didi? And do you think it's actually a good nomination?
I think it depends on who you are. So again, for Leanna, I think the Didi thing had a twofold purpose of punishing Didi while also ensuring that Mike goes on paper, right? Because this cast is unpredictable. I could totally see someone like Aspen and Alex flipping from Mike to D because this is their one and only chance to get her out. This is probably the only time D will see the block. So I could totally see, a secret attack on her. But I also think that it's still a good move for this alleged matriarchy because it kind of puts a pin in, Fan Guy's theory that there is an all-women's alliance by putting a woman up. And I've been saying that for many weeks now. Put a woman up. Put Aspen up. Still think Aspen should have been up,
I mean, do you think Aspen
if we will ever have a sacrificial lamb, it should be Aspen.
I mean, do you think Aspen would have been a more logical nomination? Because as you said, Didi going up, now Alex and Aspen might have the idea to vote out Didi. And now it's a very close vote, and they only need one number.
Is Leanna aware of Aspen and Alex wanting to vote for D though and get her out? Other than Alex saying like, "Oh, D and Monet are my targets." Like,
I mean, I would assume she would know about Alex. You would have to know about Alex. Mm-hmm. I don't know about Aspen, but I mean, Aspen has shown herself to be all over the place in this game. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm here for having Aspen. You know what? I am here for having Aspen as the renom. Not because of how I feel about Aspen, but because when Monet played her HOH, she tried to get Leanna's targets out. So Leanna, return the favor. Throw Aspen on the block.
That's true. I mean, what do you think if Aspen was on the block against Mike? Do you think Aspen would go, or do you think Mike would go?
Mike would go.
So you think even on the block, Didi and Mike goes, even though Aspen and Alex...
I think Didi and Mike on the block. Mike should go on paper, but you never know. There might be a last-minute blindside. I can already see at least Meg, Aspen, and Alex being for D. Probably Leanna. And if Leanna can pull in Monet, there goes D. If DeLeon,
Wait, you think Leanna wants to vote out Didi?
I think that...
Over Mike?
I think that D really showed that she has no loyalty to this fake-ass alliance, so potentially. it might be better in the game, better for her game to have Didi gone, and then Leanna could use this as a moment to say, "Listen." Oh, also Leanna can't vote, so never mind. She's HOH.
Well, she can't if there's a tie. But.
Yeah, but I do think that Leanna could even use this as a moment to, salvage her relationship with Mike and be like, "Listen, you're no longer my target."
But does she want to do that? Because Leanna ain't scared.
She don't play scared, but if she really wants Dee out, she might as well make it work for her. So I could see Dee potentially getting the numbers. Because Dee is never going to be on the block otherwise. When will she... Who's targeting her other than Alex, who sucks at competitions?
Yeah, he has been sucking. He hasn't in the past, though. But.
That's also funny, because when he played my season, he was like kind of a comp beast, I feel like he was called. So funny that he's leaning into the, I can't win it. I don't play games.
What do you think about like Alex? How Alex is playing this round?
I mean, I might be a little biased because I just don't love the choices that he's making, so I don't know if that's clouding my judgment. But if I'm Alex, I personally would play this a lot more laid back. You're not the nom. Nobody's thinking about you. And, like, I guess it is fair if you're not the nom to try and advance your own gameplay. So, like, I can understand it and I can respect it. But I think it was just a little too vocal for me this round. I would have just fallen back. I would have honestly pulled an Aspen. I haven't seen the whole episode.
Yeah, she's been really falling back. She has learned from her mistakes.
Does she have COVID?
She might have at this point.
I think Aspen had COVID. I think that's why she hasn't been around. She's just fucking sick.
No, I actually do think she's also just trying to fall back. I mean, Didi talked about in conversations, Aspen is now saying one-word responses when people ask her a question in chats.
Yeah.
So, Aspen, she's trying to fall back to her old game.
Okay, all right. I've been requesting that of her. And I'm just saying that if I'm Alex, I would probably fall back. Nobody's thinking about you right now. Ride the middle. And hush.
Any other thoughts on this episode before we get to your ups and downs?
I mean, I could take this time to shit on Aspen more, but, like, why beat a dead horse?
What did Aspen do?
I did have a comment. Well, I said even when Aspen gets no screen time, she's still sloppy.
How was she sloppy?
They were still bringing up her sloppy ass game, where Mike was like, "Okay, so Aspen voted for me as a personal jab and not a pro-you jab." And, like, while it looks good for Alex because no one will suspect his alliance with Aspen, it looks bad for Aspen because it's like, if Mike does stay, in the off chance that there's a blind side on Didi, or a back door, whatever we call in Big Brother, Mike might be going after Aspen. So,
yeah, I just want to say before a diehard Big Brother fan points it out, you can't technically be backdoored if you played in the veto. So Didi played in the veto, so she's not technically backdoored.
How not?
Well, backdoor in Big Brother means you put somebody on the block who never got a chance to play in the veto, so it's like a complete backdoor.
So what would Didi be? A half door? A porch door?
I don't know what it's called, to be honest, but we could call it a porch door. Well, let's get to your ups and downs then. We will begin with Fan Guy.
I forgot to do my ups and downs, so...
Wing it. Time to wing it.
Time to wing it. Fan Guy, I guess I would have to put him up. He got pulled off the block.
How about Nav?
For the same reason. He got pulled off the block.
How about Mike?
There is about a 79% chance Mike is gone again.
How about DeLeon?
I thought you were going to say D. DeLeon is... DeLeon's up.
Why?
DeLeon's up because Mike is on the block, so his biggest target is out of the game. DeLeon is up because the other person that potentially could go after him, Dazed, is also starting to get in hot water. I think Dazed's name has been going around a lot of people's mouths. I don't think people like the fact that Dazed went so hard for Mike. And then also Dazed taking Nav down as the nominee is probably not going to sit well with Leanna. So Deleon kind of gets to state his target, but then not have to do work to get his target out. So I think Deleon's up.
How about Dazed?
Dazed is down.
Why?
For everything that I just said, Dazed is going to start being a target within the next round, depending on who goes home. And also, actually, no, not depending on who goes home. Dazed is going to be a target because he's made it clear that he is loyal to Mike. I also think that Deleon, he's on Deleon's radar. And Deleon already kind of foreshadowed that he would like to have, a little rustle tussle with Dazed.
True.
So, yeah, Dazed is on everyone's radar now. And he doesn't do well in confrontations.
How about Alex?
Is Alex up? What do you think? Why do you always make me rate these people?
Because I know what happens, so it's hard for me to rate them. I mean, I think Alex is up personally, but
why?
Well, I mean, he went from the permapawn on the blog to now he actually is getting some wiggle room to actually play, and I think he is doing a decent job of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was either going to put him neutral or up. So, yeah, I like your logic there.
So you think he's up?
Yeah, I think he's up.
How about Monet?
Monet's up. I haven't seen this hoe since her HOH.
And that makes her up.
Where's she been at? I love it. Monet came in, caused chaos, and dipped.
And she's very under the radar again.
And her name has been in nobody's mouth. I honestly forgot she's playing the game. And that's how it should be. Good for you, Monet.
I told you she had a pretty good social game. You tried to dispute it with me, but...
When did I say that?
A few podcasts ago. During her HOH.
Anyways, she must not be having her, Pluto square Venus or whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
So she's in a much better shape this week.
Nothing is in retrograde this week. How about Meg?
Meg is neutral. And if I had to pick a direction, up. So, neutral up. I would say that she's mostly neutral. Because people know about her reputation. They know that she's two-timing a lot of... That's not even two-timing, because it's way more than two alliances. But people know that Meg is talking in this game to a lot of people. So, that's not good for her. But I think that she's still in a good spot where no one's actively targeting her, and the person that potentially is targeting her, Mike, is up, and like I said, has a 79% chance of going home. But even if Mike were to stay, I still don't think Meg would be in that bad of shape because she still has a lot of her key allies in the game, like Fangai, like Aspen, and like Leanna. So,
do you think all of her chaotic making tons of alliances is actually kind of paying off?
No, I guess so. Yeah.
How about Aspen?
Aspen is same thing, neutral, slightly up. I would say similar to Monet. Honestly, forgot that she was even playing the game this round, but I think people are on to Aspen, and I think that she's something to be dealt with at some point in the game, but I just don't know that it's immediate. And then the thing about Aspen is that if once you let her get to a certain point in the game, then she kind of kicks into high gear and starts to win. So Aspen, neutral, if not up. She's falling back. Dee Dee is down. She's on the block. And I think that while Mike has a 79% chance of going, Dee Dee has a 21% chance of going as well. 79 plus 21, is that how it is?
Yes,
yes.
And
what?
You're asking me to be the smart one?
I just needed somebody to check my math.
It's correct.
Okay. Dee Dee has a real potential of getting porch doored. And that would suck for her, But I don't know that it would suck for a lot of players' games because Didi, again, she's one of those people like Aspen. You let her get to a certain point in the game and she just needs to win one key challenge, stay out of it, and she's at the end. So it actually may not be the worst thing to try and get rid of Didi while you can. Mike will always go up on the block. So, and if I'm Mike, that's totally the argument I'm using against Didi.
How about Leanna, lastly, the
HOH? Leanna's neutral, I guess. She didn't get her original intended noms up there, which was either Fanguy, Mike, or Nav, like some variation of those three. And I do think having those three specifically on the block would have advanced her game either way. As opposed to having D up there, I don't know that really advances her game as much. But, I mean, as sloppy as Leanna plays these HOHs, she somehow manages to come out unscathed, so...
Well, that was the first one with the whole DOT situation, I guess.
Yeah, but then they put her ass up and it was unanimous for Nick to go home, so...
Yeah, but I mean, if Didi goes this round, you really think Mike's gonna just let bygones be bygones?
If Leanna plays it right.
You think you could play it right with Petty Mike, who is now in Petty Mike mode?
Potentially. I think you can appeal. I was going to say I think you could appeal to Mike's logic, but when he's in Petty Mike mode, he's not logical. So.
Not so much.
I think that a blindside, a porch door on Didi is actually, it's looking, every time I say it, it sounds more and more attractive.
I like how you're like, you want to make porch door happen.
Yes, I do.
Well, we will see what happens at the end of this chaotic HOH of Leanna's.